Hey guys, Luton here. Now, you may or may not be seeing a new layout on YouTube. We remember that a while back, quite a while back obviously, they made a change to the layout, and actually at the time that didn't seem like it was going to be a good thing, but I think I actually prefer the current layout that we have compared to the very old style layout. Now, with that said, sometimes when there's a change comes in, it looks appalling, but you get used to it over time, and then it's kind of okay. I really don't feel like that's going to be the case with how they have decided to try and push this new style. And as in classic YouTube style, the way that they decide to do these things is not by kind of testing it a little bit. They basically just drop it and then go, right, anything else. Now, some of you may not be seeing this new layout yet, because often with YouTube they do kind of like a soft rollout where it kind of hits people in different areas at different times, hence why, for example, with the demonetization thing, it hit other people really hard at first, then other people, then other people, then other people. So they tend to not do it in like a kind of blanket way, it tends to be like a drip, drip, drip. But this new style, basically, it's just, it's super minimal. Now, I actually, myself, am a big fan of minimalist style and just having cleanness, but sometimes less is not more. Sometimes it actually is a bit of a pain in the ass, and you can actually lose some of the organization coordination that you have there by taking out some of those elements and some of those details. Now, I actually think the current way we have things is absolutely fine. They're trying to go in this totally different direction, which looks more like a kind of video platform. I think Mink said to me, oh, it looks like Netflix now or something. And it's like, it doesn't even work properly. I was messing around with it. I was going like edit layout, go back. If I click edit layout as a producer, I go back to the old style, and then I can actually change. The new style doesn't even have any ability for you as a producer to go in and edit, for example, your playlists and stuff like this. So on the old style, you could choose to obviously have like those column drop downs for your video, so it has like 2 small rows, so you can see like 6 videos in one little vertical column there. But you can either have that or you have the horizontal line. Now with the new style, with those vertical columns, it only shows like 4 videos because it kind of condenses 4, and then it shows like a longer annotation to the right hand side. We don't need that, and it's taking away customization. It's also just taking away layout, it's taking away, it just doesn't look good. It's a pain in the ass. So really what I think people need to do, if you want to complain about this, and I think as many people as possible need to complain about this, currently you can revert back to the old style. You can revert back to the old style. But the problem with that is many things with Google and YouTube rarely get changed once they get implemented. Now, you remember like with some stuff in the past with Google, they have tried it, they try to force people to do it. Remember that whole nonsense of having to create a Google Plus account? Remember when people used to have separate YouTube and Google Plus, and they tried to like force, well, they did force everyone to do that, but then later retracted that because they realized everyone was so pissed off and it just kind of hadn't worked. Google have this thing of being like, we're the biggest company, and so if we want to make a change, we will just force it to happen, and then people will just deal with it. Often though, even though they are this gigantic company, that doesn't actually happen, because at the end of the day, if people hate something, just forcing people to do it won't make it just automatically work. The other example that I could think of which you can compare to that is something like the Gap logo. Remember when Gap tried to change their logo and people just freaked out? And that was another thing where it hadn't really been sort of tested out there. They just kind of dropped it and were like, here's our change, this is what it is. And people just lost it. That was one of the very rare few times I can think of a big company kind of rolling back and actually sort of stepping back and going, no, 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 no. Because if you do something like a big logo change, or even something like this, like a big design style change, that's a lot of investment there, that's a lot of money, a lot of time, because it doesn't just happen like that. You know, there'll be a lot of consultation and designing and going backwards and forwards, and loads of logistics of kind of moving, you know, what you need to sort of set it up and change the style. So it's not a small thing. But you see, the problem with that is that's why, unless YouTube come out and say, we do not plan to change the old style, that will always be there, but this is like a secondary option, you can have 2 options of your style. I feel like often, like what they've done before, this is just kind of putting a pin in an issue, and that they will basically force you later. So it's kind of like by putting an option in there that you can revert back to the old style, that is just temporary. That's just to kind of quieten you down, and it's like a drip, drip, drip of people being annoyed instead of people freaking out. If they were just literally, if they just dropped it and gave you no other option, people would freak out and they would probably have to go back. But by giving you an option to roll it back, it just helps to calm the waters a little bit. The thing is also with dropping this, they didn't even say to anybody like how to roll back. You don't have any pop-up saying, hey, we've got a new star. If you don't like it, you can roll back by doing X. It doesn't even tell you. Here's how you do it. You just click on the right hand side by your user icon, drop down menu. At the bottom of the drop down menu, it will say like, do you want to go back? Do you want to go back to old style, home style? Click on that. You get another pop-up which says, do you want to leave YouTube? Which is kind of slightly misleading. It's basically saying, do you want to leave this new style and go back? So even that is kind of like they're trying to force people to stay by wording it weird. They're trying to, it almost sound, I thought when I first clicked on it, I thought it was like asking me to delete my account or something. It's really bizarre. But then you can choose why you don't like it. I can imagine most people like me are just going to hate the style, the design style, because design style doesn't mean just that you don't like the look of it. It could also mean that, you know, design comes into other things. So there's other issues where you say like it's not so easy to work or whatever, you know, it's not so easy to find things. Well, that's part of the design. So the design thing, and then it gives you like a 1500 character limit to explain to them why you dislike it. So frustrating, but everybody needs to go and do this. If you're going to leave, make sure you actually give feedback. Make sure you actually tell them why. I really pray if enough people do this, then maybe we will get to keep the old style. I'm not sure, because YouTube probably have a habit of kind of just, like I say, forcing things and being like, here's it, deal with it. And, you know, unless something really big happens, I reckon they'll eventually force everyone to move to this new style. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But I'm hoping by making this video, guys, it's not only that we're going to give feedback, but I'm also hoping that I'm just highlighting to some of you guys that you can actually roll it back and get back the look that you prefer, that I imagine a large majority of people prefer. Do you know what? In the comments down below, if you do like the new style, please tell me why, because I would be fascinated to know why anybody likes this new style. Thanks for watching, guys.